Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel, and in today's episode I'm going to be sharing with you how to get started when starting your own business. So I know what it's like is that you might be watching these episodes on the channel and you're thinking, well, this is great, but how do I actually get started? And that's what I'm going to cover with you today. So firstly, the first thing that you need to do is, if you have an idea, a business idea or a concept, you need to write it down. I can't tell you the number of ideas that I've had and gone, oh, that's such a good idea, I'll make a note of that later. Later arrives, it's gone, and I can't remember it. So chances are you have a phone. That's perfect for utilizing the note feature wherever you are. I now have a note specifically set up for business ideas, and wherever I am, if something comes in my head, no matter who I'm with, I'll just say, excuse me 1 minute, get the phone out and I'll make the note, because that is more important now than most other things. Also, I tend to get a lot of my ideas just before I fall asleep. I don't know why. It's very annoying, and I wish I didn't. But again, I know people, friends of mine, have a pad and pen by the side of their bed at all times, specifically so that if in the middle of the night, if they have a weird dream and they wake up, that can be a weird time to get ideas. Or if you're just about to fall asleep and an idea pops in your head, you can quickly write it down, because I guarantee you're not going to remember it in the morning. So always write them down. I still use my phone even at night. It's not the best thing, because obviously the screen brightness wakes your eyes up, which is why the pen and paper is probably a better idea. But yes, always make a note of your ideas, because somewhere, I had a list of maybe 6 or 7 ideas, and 5 of them were probably rubbish, but 2 of them were very possibly multi-million-pound ideas, and it's the execution then which matters. But without the idea, you've got nothing. So no matter where you are, always have a medium where you can take down ideas that you have for your business, or even to grow your business, new avenues to explore. Always be able to write down your ideas. So secondly, once you have your idea in place, what I would suggest you do is run it by a couple of people. And I'm not talking just random people on the street or acquaintances. I'm saying your closest friends and family. If you have someone in your close network who is also business minded, works in business, or is an entrepreneur themselves, definitely those guys. But also, I said, those people who know you best, because they are going to be the people who want you to succeed. So there's not going to be any other motivations behind what they tell you. If someone's going to be a bit jealous and they wish they could start a business, they might be trying to hold you back. As harsh as it sounds, there are people out there who, rather than want to, encourage you to reach the highest level that you can, they want to pull you down to their level. Don't ask those people. You can't avoid them. They're in everyday life, but ultimately, ignore any advice that they give you when it comes to business. You only want advice from those people who believe in you, who know you, and crucially can be brutally honest with you. Because I know what it's like. When you have an idea, you might think it's the best idea in the world. But if I went and asked my dad and explained the business concept and he thought it was shit, he'd tell me it was shit. And he'd turn around and go, you've totally missed this opportunity, you've forgotten about this aspect, you can't do that because of this. And he will be brutally honest, which is what you need. Rather than wasting hours, days, months, weeks, years on a business which may potentially never even work because the idea is wrong. That's why you want to run it past your close friends and family who are not going to be scared to give you that brutal, honest feedback, because then that way, if they give you the go ahead and they say, yeah, that's brilliant, yeah, I think it can work, you know that you're probably onto a winner. One person thinking it's a good idea doesn't mean much. A small group collectively thinking the same thing, you're onto something. So once you have an idea which has been sort of checked with a few close friends and family, and it's given the green light, this is where things get a little bit more serious, but I don't want to say serious because it can scare a lot of people off. But this is a time where I would put together a business plan. Now, business plans, again, sound scary and like official. I put together maybe 3 or 4 different business plans for the first business, and I've worked on a couple since. Ultimately, nobody ever sees them but you. But it's the ability in a business plan to highlight to you any potential problems. It will let you set out your goals and where you want to go. And it's also a nice way to measure your progress as the business gets going. So I would always say, make your business plan. The business plan, if you don't know how, I didn't know how to write a business plan. Thankfully, we have an internet. So I'll put a link down below from the UK gov.uk website. They have a page dedicated to writing a business plan with some fantastic links on there, and they have templates that you can download. And that's a great way to get you started, because all you have to do is pretty much fill in the blanks with your idea. And that will very quickly highlight to you the steps and the progression that you then need to take and where you want it to be, and it allows you to think a little bit bigger. All of a sudden, this business has just been up here. Now it's physical. You're writing it down and it's becoming a thing, and that's when things can get exciting. I would also say at this point, when you're writing your business plan, as much as some people are going to say, don't do this, just do what you love, I'm going to say, look at how you're going to monetize it. And because I hate to say that, monetization is everything, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you're running a business. You're not running a charity, and a business needs money and cash flow in order to survive. The whole point of running a business is for it to make money. So from the get-go, focus on how is it going to make money? What are the monetization opportunities for it? And once you have that idea, it becomes a lot easier then to think about growing the business, because you know where the money's coming in, and it even gives you the chance to start throwing some numbers around, seeing what works, seeing what potential numbers you could be playing with. So definitely think about monetization, think about how the business will make money, because that is ultimately going to be a way to scale the business later on. The final point in this how to get started with your own business is to take action. And I've said this in a number of episodes already, but it truly is the last point which most people will fall down on. I've spoken to so many people who tell me they have this amazing business idea, and they'll tell me, and I'll go, yeah, I can totally see how that would work. Where are you at with it? Oh, I've not started it. Why? Oh, because I've just been really busy, and I've not got time. And yet when you go through their social media accounts, they're at parties and they're out with friends drinking, and they've been at this social event and this sporting event, and okay, so the thing is, you do have time, you're just not hungry enough. You don't believe in yourself enough, you don't want it enough, is the reality. Don't say you don't have time. So with that said, depending on your current situation, if you're not in employment, great. You have the ability to throw a lot of time at it in order to see if it works. If you truly believe that it will work, you can throw your time at it 100%. If, and I'm guessing this is going to be the case for most people, you are in employment, because let's be honest, people need money in order to live. My advice to you would not be to quit the job tomorrow and get started. My advice would instead be, get started whilst you are working, because the added pressure of not having to worry about the monetization piece too much will make your life easier and also allow you to build a business for the long term. If you're in a hurry, if you leave everything behind and say, right, I need this business to start making money in 3 months, otherwise I'm out. It's a good motivator, don't get me wrong, but ultimately some businesses just need longer than 3 months in order to monetize. And no matter how hard you try, it might not be enough to sustain your lifestyle. And you're not giving the business the best chance of success in those situations. So instead, my advice would be, you have evenings and you have weekends in order to go full on in your business. Now this means, maybe your current lifestyle is going to take a bit of a hit. You know, you're not going to be able to socialize as much. But again, we're thinking long term. If you want to build a business, you have to think long term. Nobody's in it for quick wins. It's a long game, and that means short term you're going to have to sacrifice some social meetings, some social events that you like going to, and probably say goodbye to a lot of sleep that you've been having. But it will be worth it in the long run. That is the key. Without point 4 on going and doing it and getting started and focusing on whatever it is that you need to get done, the other 3 are pointless. You can have all the best ideas in the world, but without the final part, nothing comes together. As part of that as well, I would say focus on what your minimum requirement is for it to get monetized. And focus on that. Focus on the bits which are going to start making the business a business before you start doing any of the other fancy shit. Before you start doing any of the vanity projects for the business. Oh, it'd be cool if we could do this. It'd be cool if we could do that. Or wouldn't it look really good if we did this? Yeah, it might do. But unless the business is turning over income, and you are starting to grow the business, and you can start funding some of the initial startup costs which you may have put in, that is where your focus should be. Get the minimum level sorted first, and then you can start worrying about everything else. So those are sort of nailed down into that my 4 top tips for how to get started with starting your own business. That would be it. To recap, write your ideas down. That is the main one. Secondly, run the ideas past close friends and family and get their input as well, because it is easy as an entrepreneur to be blinded by your own ideas. You might think they're amazing when really they're not that good. Number 3, business plan. Put together an action plan of what it is that you're going to do, what the business is going to do, any strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and all that jazz. Get it down on paper and make it a physical thing. And if you're stuck for any ideas, links down below in the description for all the sites and links which can help you with the business plan. And number 4, focus on the quick wins. Focus on the monetization of the business first, whilst also trying to keep your hand in employment in the early days if you are employed, because you don't want to cut off that money tap, which is going to help make life a lot easier. Sacrifice evenings, sacrifice weekends. It will be worth it in the long run, I assure you. With that said, I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please leave a like rating and subscribe if you are new. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching.